Hey traders, Jason here from Leavitt Brothers. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'll admit I tend to do a couple and then it's radio silence for a long time. One of my goals in 2018 is to do a video every week. Okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try. Once a week, probably midday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, my plan is to do a video. Sometimes I'll discuss the overall market and indicators. Other times I'll talk about current trades, or I may do stuff like educational type stuff. Whatever I feel is most appropriate at that time. I'm going to give it a shot, be more consistent, send out a video every week. Hopefully that'll help you guys out. Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about some of our current trades. These are real trades that are currently on our list. These trades are profiled, they're commented on, they're talked about, they're updated daily. Okay, the market has done pretty well. Well, it's done really well. So there's been a lot to pick from. So let's go through some of them. Here's AMBA. Was moving up, kind of got cut by its 50-day moving average here, broke out at 60, moved quickly to our target at 66, and then collapsed over the last week. It's a good example of why you need to either have a hard target in place or a trailing stop, and you need to stick with it because even a good-looking chart could just turn on you really, really fast. Here's Cloud Peak, broke out at 465, consolidated a little bit, and then broke out at 5. So it's just current trade with a trailing stop and a target, as you can see posted there. CRZO broke out at 21 from like a 2-month rectangle pattern, consolidated, broke out again at 22.2, and you can see now it's up in the high 24s. You can see our stop at 23, you can see our target at 26. This is how we present all our picks. We show you the chart, we draw trend lines, we show you resistance levels, we put a stop in place, we have a target, and we comment on them. Here's FLIR Systems. This one was, I don't want to say a little scary, because it moves pretty slow. Broke out at 48, came all the way back down, tested its 50-day moving average, moved back up above resistance, and then it gapped up on Monday. So we're still in this one. As you can see, we got a stop in place down at 48. We're going to give it some room. It tends to move kind of slowly, so put a trail stop in place and let it go. See what happens. KNX, not a long time trade, but we've been in this one since the end of November. It broke out at 42, and it's just kind of grinding up. It's not a high flyer. We were only looking for 10%. Unfortunately, it's taken almost more than a month to get there, but hey, it never dropped enough to get us out, so we're just going to trail it with a stop, and hopefully we'll get our target soon. LAUR got above its 50, came back down and tested the 50, resistance just overhead. I really like these setups where a stock gets above a key moving average, forms a resistance level, it kind of gets squeezed by those two. Broke out. As you can see, at 14 was our entry. It has been consolidating for the last almost 2 weeks, and then today it's up at a new high, so it's doing well. NGL, patterns don't get prettier than this. I mean, it took out its 50 back in September, came down and tested it twice in October, November, rallied up. Okay, then it traded sideways. We had an entry on it at 13.1. It broke out, traded sideways for a couple weeks, and then broke out again, and today it traded through its target. So really nice trade there. PAGP, another oil stock, broke out at 21.5, moved up, consolidated. It took out our resistance level at 22.15, but didn't go anywhere. It just kind of grinded in place for a couple days. Then it moved up, and as you can see, as of today, it has missed its target by 3 cents, which in my book is close enough. Okay, not a great trade, but hey, 2 points is 2 points. I'll take it. PRGS, we got lucky on. Strong stock, moved up, consolidated for a couple months. We had a resistance level at 43.15. It took out that level last week and didn't go anywhere. It just kind of grinded in place, not very volatile, and then out of nowhere today it just gaps up and goes up huge. So obviously it blew right past our target and it was up huge. So hey, sometimes you get lucky. You play the charts, you have a plan in place, and every once in a while the trend is up, so you're more likely to get lucky to the upside than to the downside, and this has happened to us a handful of times over the last few months. RSP Perryman, solid oil stock, consolidated in a rectangle pattern for about 6-7 weeks, broke out, consolidated at 41. We were looking at buy a breakout at 41 for a quick trade up to 45, just about a 10% move. Stock has mostly been kind of volatile, jumping around in place. Finally today it It's got a nice candle, and it's trading at a new all-time high. So far so good there. SeaWorld broke out at 13.3, grinded, never really gave us a reason to get out. And then finally in the last 2 days it jumped from like 13.5 up to our target of 15, so that's a nice one. SCX broke out. I mean, this is as pretty as it gets. I mean, for a stock to rally up, consolidate for about 2 months, resistance easy to find, breaks out again, huge volume, consolidates, and now we got another breakout. Volume's a little bit on the lighter side, so you can't really size up too much, but really nice action. It broke out today, and as you can see, it's at a new high. United traded above our resistance level. I wouldn't really consider this to be a good breakout because the stock had rallied so much to get up there, and this really wasn't a mature resistance level. It was just kind of more like the high from the previous few days. Plus, he had all this stuff back in October that might bring some sellers to the market. Got above our resistance level, grinded in place for about a week, and then in the last 2 days it gapped, and got to our target. A couple more here. VSLR. Volatile, good trading candidate if you like to zoom in with like intraday charts. Broke out at 535 in really choppy, volatile fashion. It finally hit our target yesterday, and as you can see today, it's following through. VF Corp, move up, nice, nice setup, tight pattern, right below resistance. Lets the 50 catch up a little bit, breaks out. It did go up to like the high 78s, but immediately came back down. So right now we're just we're sitting on like a point and a half profit. It's not an exciting stock, but what the heck, it's doing okay. And for now, I'm content just to trail it with a stop and see what happens. XNet, we posted this as a buy when it came down to 12. 12 was support from back in November, December. Early December, and then then in mid-December when the 50-day came up and met it, it was like, it's like double support. You have price support from previous lows. You have price support from the moving average. Obviously, the stock has done really well. Most stocks don't double in a couple of weeks. This one did. Not going to complain. Okay. Last one, then I'm going to do a couple that haven't worked out. Here's why. This is a stock that's just been trending up for a long time. You buy a dip, put a stop in place, and let it go. And for this stock, that's worked. There's been periods where it's moved sideways for several weeks, but overall, if you have the patience to stick with it, and if you have the money to, you don't mind tying up your money for a little while, overall, it's done really well. I mean, just in the last month, it's gone from 100 to 130. Buckle's one that didn't work out quite as well as we wanted. It broke out at 21, moved up to close to 23, and then on this big down day, we got stopped out. So it's either a small loss or a small gain, depending on where your stop was. It happens. Not all trades work out great. All you can do is play a great stock under the best conditions, and have a plan in place, and then execute. Sometimes you do really well, but then if you just control your loss when they don't do really well, then you'll be fine. Brinker's another one, broke out, went nowhere for a couple weeks, and then on this big down day here, if you weren't out by then you were definitely out there. So it's either a small loss or a small gain. That one didn't really work out as well as we wanted. Five Below broke out 67.6, chopped around in a range for 2 weeks or so. Finally moved up, but then on this big gap down day, at that point in time, you're just after sitting in this stuff for 2 weeks, if you're still in, when this thing gaps down, you just hit the sell button and get out, because you're probably so sick of watching it that there's no point sticking around. So again, it's you get in, you have a plan in place, you execute it. Most of the time they're going to work if you're trading in the direction of the trend, but occasionally you get an unlucky situation like this where it gaps down, and you just got to cut it loose and head for the hills, I guess. FRTA is another one that didn't quite work out, broke out, just kind of chopped around. I don't know. It's already doubled over the last couple of months, and with other stocks doing so well, I could justify just kind of taking a small loss and just moving on. Last one, Sam Adams, another one that didn't quite work out. Really good stock, been trending up. Took out our resistance level at 194. Didn't get any follow through when it fell. I think we had to stop at 190 here. So, a couple percent, no big deal. It's a low volume stock, so you can't really trade big size anyway. So it happens. So this is what we do at Leavitt Brothers. Okay, we find the best stocks and the best groups, we profile them, and we bring them to your attention so you can make money. Okay, you still have to do some of the work, but heck, you can start each day and each week with a really good list to work from. One good trade pays for your subscription for the entire year. Come check us out.